Hello and welcome back to On the Inside Edge. We are now in the Olympic season. I'm Hyacinth, and today I'm on the inside edge of the men's discipline. I'm going to be discussing the hopefuls for the podium in Milano Cortina 2026. I will be limiting my selection to standout skaters that have caught my eye, as the men's field is extremely competitive and insanely stacked. It was not an easy choice, and everyone, regardless of my choices, is talented and deserves to be at the Olympics. So without further ado, let's get into it. First, we have Ilia Malinin, quad god extraordinaire. If you thought quads are intimidating, you haven't met Ilia. Ilia is the kind of guy that will make your jaw drop once you witness his technical prowess. Ilia is the first man to land a ratified quad axel and has landed it multiple times in competitions. Ilia just missed out on the 2022 Winter Olympic Games, but here at the 2026 Milano Cortina Olympic Games, he is, dare I say it, the heavy Olympic favorite, the one destined to win it all. Ilia is coached by his mother, Tatyana Malinina, and his father, Roman Skarnyakov, and Rafael Aratunian, who also coached the 2022 Olympic champion Nathan Chen. Ilia has the technical edge, as he can land 7 quads in one program, a record he achieved at the 2025 Grand Prix final in Nagoya, Japan. Ilia is the only skater that is capable of landing all 6 quadruple jumps. He can land a quad toe, a quad sow, a quad loop, a quad lutz, a quad flip, and the quad axel, and he's the only man that can do it, as we just established. Ilia has hinted that he is also working on quintuple jumps. He has commented saying that he will wait until after the Milano Cortina Winter Olympic Games to try and attempt a quint. But who knows? Maybe he will feel up to the challenge and we may yet see our first quint attempt here on the international stage at Milano Cortina. Ilia has been the dominant man in the men's field, as he is the reigning Grand Prix final champion for the past 3 consecutive years and the current reigning world champion for the second year in a row. I would like to highlight a unique feature of Ilia's free skate, and that is his voiceover. Ilia has recorded his own voice, saying,
The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing.
I think this is a good choice as it definitely adds a unique character flair to his programs, and it's not something that we see often. The first part of his voiceover actually reminds me of the Socrates saying and may also be derived from that. The saying is, quote, "For I was conscious that I knew practically nothing," unquote, as featured in Plato's Apology. So I definitely recommend keeping your eye on Ilia and watching him closely as he is a strong contender for the Olympic champion at Milano Cortina 2026. Next, we have Yuma Kagiyama, the king of the quad Saokao. Yuma is perhaps the biggest threat to Ilia at these Olympic Games. While Yuma may not necessarily have the quads, the technical repertoire to match Ilia's, Yuma does also possess the ability to do quads, namely a quad toe, a quad sow, a quad loop, and a quad flip, although we don't know which ones he will be doing at the Olympics. Yuma can mount a serious challenge to Ilia and become a strong contender for the Olympic champion. Yuma first emerged as a young man to watch when he won the 2020 Youth Winter Olympic Games in Lausanne, placing gold in the men's division. Then, he emerged as the successor to the Japanese men's field in figure skating in 2021, having placed third at Japanese nationals behind the likes of Yuzuru Hanyu and Shoma Uno. In terms of the Olympics, Yuma is already a seasoned veteran, as this Olympics will be his second Olympics, having competed formerly in the 2022 Winter Olympics in Beijing, where he earned the silver medal in the individual event and was part of the team that won silver in the team event as well. Yuma is trained by his father, Masakazu Kagiyama, who competed in the 1992 and 1994 Winter Olympics, and he is also coached by Carolina Kostner, who is a recent addition to his coaching team. Yuma and his father's interactions in the kiss and cry is honestly the best thing ever, as Yuma just bounces with excitement when he gets a good score, and his father tries his best to rein him in. That aside, Yuma has great technical abilities, and his quadruple Saokao is honestly one of the best in the men's field at the current moment. When Yuma nails the quad Saokao, it is one of the most beautiful jumps, as Yuma just makes it look so effortless, and his air position is ramrod straight. And when he lands, he has the softest knee bend ever. Yuma is also coached by Carolina Kostner, who was able to help him with his artistry, and he has since then developed in leaps and bounds, and his artistry has been growing by the day. So honestly, I think Yuma is one of the most well-rounded skaters in terms of artistry and technicality at the current moment. Lastly, I'd like to highlight Yuma's free skate, Turandot, specifically Christopher Tin's finale, as composed by Christopher Tin. This piece is specifically tailored to Yuma and the Olympics with the help of Yuma's choreographer Lori Nickel. Puccini, the original composer of Turandot, died without finishing the work of Turandot, and as such there have been 5 different renditions of the finale, one of them being Christopher Tin's. So Lori Nickel reached out to Christopher Tin, and Christopher recorded an 18-minute piece, which was then clipped together to create the iconic 4-minute and 17 version we will be able to see at the Olympics. So definitely keep your eye on Yuma Kagiyama. Shun Sato is also a name you should be watching out for Milano Cortina 2026, as Shun has had an amazing season so far this year, having placed third at the Grand Prix final, having qualified first at the Cup of China, and second at a NHK trophy behind his teammate Yuma Kagiyama. Now, why have I called Shun the Jumping Firebird? Well, first off, his free skate this season is set to Firebird by Stravinsky, hence the first part of the name. And secondly, Shun is a very technical skater, and he displays incredible jumping prowess. Shun has the quad toe, quad lutz, quad sao, and quad flip, and has competed with all of these quads in competition. Shun Sato has been very impressive from the get-go. In his Junior Grand Prix debut at the 2019 Junior Grand Prix United States, he claimed the gold medal over the then reigning Junior Grand Prix final Stephen Goglev of Canada, who is also competing in Milano Cortina 2026 as the sole Canadian men's entry. Shun would then go on to win bronze at the 2019 Junior Grand Prix Croatia, which qualified him for the Junior Grand Prix final, where he claimed the gold medal. Shun is a little bit of a firecracker as he is able to get incredible height on his jumps, and he just seems to fly through the air. If you look at any of his jumps, you'll notice the incredible ease to which he can perform them, getting straight up into the perfect tight rotational positions. Lastly, Shun has proved that he is able to handle the pressure and skate cleanly despite earlier mistakes. For example, at the 2024 to 2025 Grand Prix final, he placed third overall after having been fourth in the short program and placed first in the free skate with the highest technical score out of all the men in the event. This year at Japanese Nationals, Shun did the exact same thing. He claimed the silver just behind Yuma Kagiyama. But it is important to note here that he actually placed first in the free skate ahead of Yuma, but it was his 5th place in his short program that held him back. Shun is someone who is able to thrive and perform, often under extreme pressure, and never lets his bad performance get to him. And he is able to mount incredible comebacks. So if the Olympics, Shun doesn't do that well in the short program, do not fear. He might be preparing for his comeback. Next up, we have Adam Siao Him Fa, the comeback king. Adam is what I like to call a comeback king, because in the 2024 Worlds in Montreal, after a disastrous short program placing him 19th, he was able to dominate the free skate and climb his way back up to 3rd place after taking a 2-point deduction from his illegal backflip. Of course, if you know Adam from anything, it's probably his backflip, as he is the man that brought it back onto the international stage. By the way, if you haven't watched my backflip video, you'll know that it was illegal when Adam did it in Montreal, and he did it for the absolute fun of it. But now it has been ratified, and Adam has competed with it in multiple competitions, so I definitely expect him to do this move on the Olympic stage. And depending on the seedings for the team event, he may be the second person to land a legal backflip at the Olympics, and the first one of this modern era to do so. So if you haven't seen the video, we'll link it somewhere so you can watch it and hopefully understand the backflip better and why I said what I just said and get some more context into it. Now, talking about Adam's technical repertoire. Adam has the quad toe, quad sao, quad lutz, and quad flip, and he's capable of executing them in his programs, often to varying degrees of success, as he's very prone to falling. Adam is able to get great height as his jumps, but his rotations often leave a little bit to be desired, as his leg wraps aren't very tight and makes his jumps very off kilter and hard to control, which often works to his detriment, as evidenced by his falls. When Adam doesn't fall, he does lean very far forward on his landings, and it seems a little bit harsh, and it's almost like he has to check himself to prevent a fall. Adam made his international senior debut in the 2021 to 2022 season, and he was at the Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics, where he placed 14th overall in the competition. I would say that Adam made a name for himself in the 2022 to 2023 season, where he took the gold at the Grand Prix de France, but his second event at the NHK Trophy didn't go as he expected, so he didn't qualify for the Grand Prix final that year. Despite this little setback, he went on to win his first French national title at the championships in Rouen, beating defending champion Kevin Amos by a margin of over 20 points. Then, he continued his streak of success, and he placed first in the short program at the European Championships, and he finished second in the free skate, but overall won the gold medal. And honestly, I think this was the point that we realized that Siao Him Fa could be a contender in future years. Then he further cemented himself as a serious contender when he made his Grand Prix final debut in the 2023 to 2024 skiing season. And he also medaled at Worlds, which is the infamous Montreal incident of adding the backflip, where he climbed from 19th all the way up to 3rd place. Lastly, I would like to highlight Adam's coaches and choreographers Benoit Richaud and Cedric Tour, both of whom were instrumental in helping to choreograph his short program, Leonardo da Vinci, and his free skate, The Creation of Adam, both of which I haven't really enjoyed, but definitely are starting to grow on me, and so I'm very excited to see him perform these two programs at the Winter Olympics. So definitely, I would keep my eye on Siao Him Fa, as he can prove that he can make comebacks under incredible pressure.